Generally, when you look at it, 250 people is not a lot.
Oh, listen, I was thrilled with the police response yesterday. That it was textbook. It was how a civilised police force deals with civil disobedience, and that's what it was, civil disobedience. But the fact that the messaging was spot on, the fact that the planning was spot on by the executive of the police, the rank and file did a superb job, measured, toned, and of course, luckily only a couple of hundred people turned up. 260 fines have been issued, about 40 charges have been laid, and I can assure anybody that's listening that they should be prepared for a similar response from police at any moment. I mean, we've got contingencies today if things want to flare up. We're ready to respond with very, very similar operational orders next week if we find out that there's another protest planned.
Well, let's get back to a point that you made earlier in our chat about the numbers and about the record vaccination rates. I read an interesting piece last night from Dr. Nick Coatsworth saying that basically this is such a positive that New South Wales is now being vaccinated at a rate higher than the UK or the US ever was.
Well, listen, and I'm the eternal optimist to a fault, and I think that is the message that the government, the media, and indeed the community needs to celebrate. We are going Jats cracker at this vaccination, and it is absolutely fantastic every day picking up the newspaper and seeing it. And there's another percentage point on the double doses and even on the single doses now well beyond 50%. And that's what's giving me hope. That's what's giving my family hope. That's what's giving my community hope. And I think that if we continue to just focus on the fact that we push these people through the vaccination centres, get the jab in the arm, and I'm quietly confident that I'll be celebrating grand final day with somebody other than my family. Not that that would be a bad thing.
Yeah, early October. Well, that's some of the forecasting, isn't it? I know that the Premier's been conservative in saying that, in November sometime we'll hit 80%, but a lot of the data crunching that's being done at the moment, and obviously there's a few impediments to getting to those targets. They may slow down slightly, but it could happen in the early to mid part of October that New South Wales hits 80%.
Well, that's right, and that's what I mean. We're at 30% now, maybe 31% this morning. We're doing 1% a day. That gives us 40 days until 70%, and that takes us to the end of September. So you're right. If we have slippage, if we have a couple of bad days, well, then that still gets us to the October long weekend, and then we just push through for the last 10% to 80% sometime in October. That's what I'm telling my community when they're getting depressed and when they're getting anxious and when they're feeling down. We are really on the end of the marathon at the moment with those figures going the way they are, and we just need to just concentrate on making sure everybody makes that appointment. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, but get that appointment in your diary, and then of course that means that there's going to be a lot more freedoms.
What have you thought of the performance of the Premier Gladys Berejiklian and the Chief Health Officer in New South Wales, Kerry Chant? Personally, I've thought it's been quite remarkable in very difficult circumstances and to front up every day.
Well, they say the Times choose you, and certainly the Times chose Gladys. She's unflappable, and I can give you I can give you an insight. I mean, when some of the cabinet ministers, including myself, are flapped and are nervous and do express anxiety, she's certainly a very, very calm and soothing voice, and I think history will go down as saying that she's led a textbook response to this amongst very, very difficult circumstances. We had no control over the Delta outbreak. It was something that nobody could have ever prepared ourselves for. Yes, we're angry about the limo driver, but quite frankly, it could have been any incident that would have released Delta into our community like this. And it was a wake-up call. I mean, there were people that were saying to me 3 months ago, since I can go to the pub and since I can go to work, I'll put the jab off. Well, you know what? Get the jab now, because this has been an absolute wake-up call, an absolute ironclad guarantee that we have to make sure that we are vaccinated to return to our normal Sydney summer lifestyle.
David Elliott, it looks like it's a beautiful day there in the hills. You enjoy it.
I'll be having a barbecue with the family. Thanks.
Cheers.